Posted by you/who My fiancé, 22M, was injured over a month ago and had surgery to correct things literally 2 days after the accident. I, 21F, have been by his side the entire time. I have more or less become his caregiver. In the last month, I have taken over the role of keeping our house together. I cook all the meals, take care of the pets, and stay up all night to tend to his endless needs. I take him to the bathroom and have been working remotely. I haven't left the house for more than an hour since the accident, aside from taking him to and from appointments. I am not saying this to complain. I am grateful that my life allows me to support him the way I have. My problem is his attitude. He was given very strong painkillers for the first 2 weeks after surgery. He had to extend his time on them and recently stopped taking them in the last week. When he was taking them, he thanked me, told me how much he loved me, and apologized at every step, though he didn't need to. Without the meds, he doesn't seem to see that I am helping him. Every dish I bring him is the wrong one. He will yell for me, and when I come, he will tell me to screw off. If he's in pain, he expects me to fix it. I am exhausted. I can't do anything right, and it is wearing on me. I haven't slept in weeks. I haven't seen a friend or family member in far too long. I can't even be on the phone for more than 10 minutes without it being an issue. After days of what turned into verbal abuse, I called my mother-in-law. I told her everything as soon as I saw he was asleep. I cried for about 15 minutes. I felt terrible unloading on her like that, but I had so much built-up frustration I just couldn't stop. She was very supportive on the phone, reassured me that I wasn't wrong to feel that way, and let me cry. After hearing everything, she was furious and ended our call to talk to her son. She tore him a new one. I heard him trying to defend himself through the door, but it was mostly just stammering. She flew up yesterday and put me up in a nice hotel. I haven't heard much from my fiancé since I left, but as I was leaving, he was yelling at me for calling his mom. He said he didn't want to marry someone who couldn't be there for him in sickness. I told him I loved him and I was sorry. I'm just so tired. He didn't care and just told me to go, saying his mom could do a better job for him than I ever could. So now I'm in my way too nice hotel room, feeling like a major jerk. I need to know if I am wrong here. Edit. He began weaning off 2 weeks ago and became fully dependent on over-the-counter medication this week. He did not stop taking them cold turkey. His doctors were heavily involved too, due to previous substance abuse. Edit. My mother-in-law is taking him back to their hometown once they can get flights together. I'll stay in this hotel until then. Fiancé doesn't want to talk yet, and to be honest, I don't blame him. He knows what's coming and that I am pissed. I'll go visit him in a week, so I have until then to decide how I want to move forward. My mother called last night about a venue she found in my hometown, and I told her what's going on. She doesn't want to spend a bunch of money on a pending divorce, so we are stepping back from planning. Not much more to add. I'm excited to see my pets and be able to sleep in my own bed. I'm going to try to make my sister fly to my state so I can have some company. That's pretty much it. I'm in serious awe of how I let my life get like this, but oh well. Today will be better. Update 17 days later. I went home 2 days after posting. Things were sad. He didn't go back to his hometown with his mother, he refused. My mother-in-law had cleaned, but the energy in the house was a bummer. The first thing he said to me when I got back was, "I'm glad you're back, can you make me a snack?" There was no apology, no accountability, just a task. He only talked to me when he needed something. His attitude was worsening. My mother-in-law took the rest of his prescribed painkillers, so I knew he wasn't using. The weekend following the mother-in-law debacle, my wonderful fiancé told me he had friends coming to stay for the weekend, 2 hours heads up. He didn't ask. I sighed and made up the guest room. His friend and the friend's girlfriend came to stay. During the stay, my fiancé bought me flowers, got out of bed daily, took me out, and let me call my parents unsupervised. The day they left, he was back in bed with a crappy attitude. I wish I could say I am in my own apartment with my pets and a bottle of rosé that's just for me, or with my girlfriends that I haven't seen in months. Unfortunately, I'm writing this on the couch while I listen to the music of his endless demands. However, I do have a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm scared to leave him in person, but he's leaving the country for a month in April. My sister lives abroad, and I'm working on getting to her during that month. It's a process, especially with pets. I look forward to getting there. My mother hasn't spoken to me since I told her I was returning the ring because, that's not what we do, we clean our messes. But I have my father's unwavering support. I'll miss my mother-in-law, but I deserve that kindness and understanding from my partner, not his mother. I have stopped forcing myself to find the joy in his presence, and it's helping to fuel my drive to get out of here. I may update again when I get to my sister, but don't be surprised if I do my best to put this chapter behind me. Thanks for the kind words. I hope you all get the love and hugs you need. Edit. Things got very bad since I posted this. I'm currently in my childhood room at my father's, decently hungover, and I am officially a single lady. I don't want to get too into it, but we had a bad night. It ended with me locked on the balcony. I still have some bruising. I was able to call my father on my watch, and we made a plan to get me home the next morning. Second update 5 weeks later. It's been some time, and I finally feel comfortable enough with my situation to update you all. My pets and I are safely with my father. We've been here a couple of weeks, and things are going well. I'm working remotely but also searching for a new position closer to my hometown so I can still have a social life. My animals are adapting to life without their dad, and I'm doing my best to join them. My ex and I were high school sweethearts. I have been through most major life events with him. There is only a small fraction of my life as an adult that I have been through without him. Leaving was really hard. I am still second-guessing myself. But I realized recently that by not enabling his crappy behavior, I really am helping him. He went on his planned trip, and I took that opportunity to get everything I needed from our shared home and made arrangements regarding my lease going forward. He used his trip as an opportunity to reflect on his behavior within our relationship, specifically over the past year. He is pretty disappointed in himself. It seems that the company he was on vacation with helped hold a pretty clear mirror to his face, and he was really unhappy with what he saw. I feel bad that he's having a hard time with this self-awareness, but I really appreciate the accountability that has come with it. I'd like to add that I don't hold any resentment towards him. I am hurt and disappointed by the way he felt he could treat me, but I don't hate him. I was sad to hear how upset he was with himself, though a little relieved that I wasn't being painted as the crazy ex I was sure he would. Since getting home, he has started therapy and is looking for a new sponsor. We talk about once a week so he can see his pets, and I also don't mind the positive updates. When we talk, it's respectful, there is still a lot of love, but I've set boundaries that keep him from hounding me about our relationship. I have also started a new therapy. This is my first serious breakup, and the aftershock is real. It's hard to lose your best friend, future husband, and the father of your fur babies all at once. However, I am confident that this is essential for both of our growth. I'm happy that we can have a respectful, albeit small, relationship. Who knows what the future holds, but for now, I'm doing my best to be content with this new independence and grateful that my life can face roadblocks and I can get through them easily, thanks to my amazing support system. I still haven't spoken with my mother. That will come much later, and I will be requiring a serious apology. I love my mom, but I'm not going to stand for her demanding that I make really unhealthy choices to appease her, just so she doesn't have to be embarrassed by my broken home. I mean, come on, I'm 21. My broken little tyke's home, let's be real. I am young, smart, and pretty, and I have a really good, kind life ahead of me. Thank you for helping me not settle for comfortable. I hope I never have to update again, and I hope you are all having a really good Friday. Third update 2 weeks later. I left out of my last post my final interaction with my ex. It didn't seem too important at the time, but we had a final hookup the last time I saw him. I am now pregnant. This was my biggest fear while I was with him, having a child and being solely responsible for them. I am now in that exact position. I told my ex a couple of days after I found out. I assured him that this changes nothing about our relationship, but as he is the father, he has the right to be involved in the conversation. He declared that he is moving to my hometown and that he will be the best goddamn father you've ever seen. I have my doubts, I'm full of anxiety. I've barely learned how to treat myself correctly. I want my kid to be so beyond loved. I want my child to have everything in the world and more. I don't know how to do that on my own. I am encouraged to see my ex making big steps to be a part of our kid's life, but I'm also cautious that he's doing all this to get back in my good graces. I can't be a mom to both my ex and my future child. I can't fall back into the same dynamic that made me leave. I'm doing what I can to stay strong and hold my ground, but then he sends flowers or a massage certificate or a bump box. Every gift, every check-in text, and every mention of our baby gets me closer to going back to him. I don't really know why I'm posting this. I guess it's cathartic to get this all down and out in my own words. It's hard to write your own narrative in your own words in a small, gossipy hometown. It's hard to be pregnant and single. But the hardest thing is telling your father that you're expecting, no matter how old you are. I know we will be okay. I'm already trying everything in my power to be a good mom. I'm trying to be respectful to everyone I can regarding this situation, but damn, it's tough. Anyway, that's my ramble. I doubt anyone reads these anymore, lol, but I'm glad I said it. Fourth update 1 month later. My mom and I have always had a rocky relationship. I went to live with my dad as soon as I was able to decide and kept my contact with her minimal. After high school, I moved away for college and a good job with my ex. My mom followed me to my new city, and we tried to rebuild our relationship. Unfortunately, I became scared of the choices I made when I was with her, so I went back to low contact, and she moved back to my hometown. Unfortunately, my life recently turned upside down. Long story short, my boyfriend and I broke up. I moved back home, with my dad, and got a new, better job. Then I found out I was pregnant. My dad has a full house, So I made the decision to move into my mother's guest house for my pregnancy to save more money for the baby and move out once they are around 2 months old. The timeline works for my finances, and I figured, since I'm just on her property, not in the main house, it might be easy to keep a low profile. How naive of me. After work, she comes over daily to check on me. She hasn't failed to offer me an alcoholic beverage, not once since I moved in. She chain smokes right outside my bedroom daily, and she stays late. I know it's her home. I know she's very kind to have me here, but I'm growing a person right now. I am preparing myself for motherhood, single motherhood. I work long, demanding hours. I am stressed and isolated. I would love a freaking drink, but I'm pregnant, I can't drink. The one time I brought it up, I was screamed at, and she asked me to leave in the morning. It was really upsetting and stressful. I feel like she comes here to bait me into picking a fight so she can pull every power play to make me feel small. Anyway, Mom, I love you, but damn, I am trying to give our entire family a healthy new member. I am trying to re-establish myself as an adult in the town where I was a child. I am trying to do better for myself and my baby. Please respect that for me. Please respect that enough for your grandchild. I love you, so please, try to love me. 5th update 7 months later. Hey Reddit, it's been a while. My life has taken me in every direction, but I am finally in a place where I am happy and confident enough in my situation and decisions to loop my internet friends in. I started a new job several months ago. It was right up my alley and had amazing pay. I was living with my mother to save up during my pregnancy, but once I started my job, I immediately moved out. Besides the pay and career boost, I have found very meaningful relationships within the company. I met a group of coworkers on my first day that I was immediately drawn to. They are adventurous, kind, and outgoing people. I started building my relationships with them, and eventually, they became some of the closest people to me. They have been supportive of all my struggles this year, and I would not have been able to get through my miscarriage without all the love they gave me. I miscarried in my second trimester. It was hell. I have never been more upset with my body. I felt like I had failed my child. There was nothing I could do to take that pain away. It still breaks my heart daily, but I have been getting through it and growing a little stronger every day. My ex lost his mind when he found out. He said I had taken his family from him and that he would never forgive me. He even threatened to sue me for the emotional distress I had caused him. It was unbelievable. The month after my miscarriage, I started seeing one of my new work friends. He's a bit older than me and is everything I have ever wanted. He is quite literally the opposite of my ex. He cooks and cleans, and he makes me feel beautiful, smart, and all the things my ex would say I wasn't. I have found a new version of myself this year. I have made good friends who support me every day. I have found things I love to do and have been able to restart hobbies I gave up in favor of my ex. I found a person who makes me want to do better every day. I know this is long, so I'll wrap it up. I have never been happier in my life. I know it's dumb to say, but I genuinely thank Reddit for this. It was hard to read some comments, but it gave me the strength and understanding I needed to stop settling for someone who didn't care about me. I truly hope this is the last time any of you will see a post from me. Thank you all. 6th update 5 months later. Reddit, we meet again. I seem to wander here when I don't have anyone to talk to about what's going on in my life. I have been hit with a slurry of responses each time, some positive, some calling me an idiot, some telling me how lucky I am that my baby died. Regardless of the context of my posts, I have never gotten a response here that I also would have gotten from someone in my life who actually knows me. I guess that's why I keep coming back, huh? Well, here I am, and life is looking good. If you have read my post history, 2023 was a doozy for me. I ended my engagement, I moved back to my hometown. I found out I was expecting and prepared myself for motherhood. I found out my baby no longer had a heartbeat and prepared myself to deliver a child I would never get to know. I was let down by my family. Most importantly, I fell in love. I met my ex-fiancé in high school. We grew up together in many ways. He was there during the darkest times of my life, as well as the happier moments. I never felt complete with him. I was always looking for more stimulation. I wanted more. I always thought it was because we had different love languages and attachment styles, but I later learned that we were simply incompatible people. My ex was always miserable, and you know what they say about misery. I left that relationship with nothing but fear. He fought me tooth and nail for all of our joint assets. We were young, but he came from money, and I worked my tail off to buy us a little townhome in our old city. He now has sole ownership. I was pregnant and living on my mother's property when my lawyer told me how cutthroat they were playing. I resigned. He could have anything he wanted, I just wanted peace. He tried to get my car too, but I had enough in my corner to prove that it was mine and only mine. I also realized that I had given him everything I was too. I had not been honest about who I was or what I wanted since high school, and who the hell knows who they are and what they want at 15. Certainly not me. I found myself back at square one. I was home, watched over by my parents and siblings. I was learning who I was again, but this time I only had to think for myself. I felt like I had just restarted life. I got a job in my field, and I set out to take life by the horns and create a new reality for me and my baby. When I started my job, I knew on the first day that I would be friends with my coworkers. There was a group of them that were just so attractive to me. They were everything I wanted to be: beautiful, bubbly, charming, adventure-seeking. I could go on. I remember feeling super intimidated that first time I interacted with them. We worked in different departments, so there wasn't a ton of overlap, but every time I talked to one of them, I felt like I was in middle school again and that popular girl had just complimented my top. A month or two after I started my job, I got a wave of courage and invited them out with me that weekend. Obviously pregnant and starting to show, I offered to drive as well. They were in. We hung out that weekend, and from then on, I was just one of them. They became some of the closest people to me. I even showed one of them this account, lol. The group consisted of 6 people. They all meant the world to me, but one of them really stood out. He was also a director of his department. Of our friends, we were the only 2 directors, so we sat in on several meetings together. He stood out to me with his radiant smile and never-ending brilliance. He put out many fires in my department, which was like asking a librarian to perform surgery. Our responsibilities had absolutely no overlap. He was driven, kind, and almost 10 years older than me. I had hearts in my eyes. We started seeing each other pretty quickly, and he became my strength when I lost my baby. I spent every day with him. I would have to remind myself to go home, or I would just stay with him. But he couldn't commit to anything serious, and almost as soon as he became the best part of my life, he started climbing the ropes to becoming the hardest part. He drew me in, cooked for me, held me while my world shattered, wrote to me, sang for me, then took it all away. For a while, I thought if I did everything right, he would come back. We never stopped seeing each other, but the lines were now blurry, and he had no trouble bringing home a different girl even when he came out with me. I fell into a deep rut and realized the only way to get out was to sever things with him. He took it well and promised to remain friends. He transferred branches a week later. Once he was gone and I fell out of his orbit, I had a good look at myself. I realized how I have loved with every ounce of me since I was small and never asked for anything in return. I realized I had started to grow a human inside of me, one I never got to properly grieve. I realized that I had only ever worked and loved, I never just took time to be me. I have taken back my health. I used to be very conscious about what I consumed, but then I got pregnant and never got back on track. I ended up gaining 53 pounds through all of the events of 2023. I have now lost 48 of those pounds. I had always been a little underweight prior to last year, but now I just feel healthy. I found the most adorable home, and my kitties and I absolutely love it. We are right in town, and I have had the time of my life making it mine. I got promoted at work just after New Year's. This promotion comes with a lot of opportunities for travel, so I am preparing my lifestyle for those changes. But most importantly, I have learned to have fun, embrace boredom or sadness, or find anything I need with just myself. I never thought I could do that. Last year took everything I ever knew and threw it out the window. I hope I never experience lows that low again, but I am endlessly grateful because now I know how good the highs feel. I don't think I will be opening this account again. Thank you to all. 7th update 6 months later. I am an orphan, and I've never felt so alone. I have 3 siblings, 2 older brothers and a little sister. My oldest brother took his life when I was 9. My other brother is very successful. He has worked his way up from the ground. I am so happy for him and endlessly proud. His success has taken him all over the world, but it's never brought him home. My sister found her biological family last December. I am still waiting for her to call me back. I miss her dearly. I miss all of them. My mother is an alcoholic. She's very wealthy, she's beautiful, she's mean, and I've decided that in order to keep my life moving in a positive direction, I cannot be part of her life, and she can have no access to mine. I said my goodbyes to her about a year ago. I miss her every day. I miss when she was silly, maternal, and empathetic. She's a shell of herself now. She can't look at herself because all she sees is my brother. I know that's why she treats us the way she does. We will never be him. Nonetheless, my mom, the woman who birthed 3 babies and adopted 1, the woman who would have taken a bullet to the head for any of her kids, is gone. I've waited over a decade for her to come back, but she isn't, and I'm done waiting. She is gone. I accepted that last year, and I've been grieving ever since. I moved away this year as a chance to start fresh. Last year, after calling off my engagement, I moved back home. Then I found a job that brought me to the beach. I had only ever lived in the Midwest. I packed up my life, hugged my dad goodbye, drove across the country with my pets, and set up shop. I'm still getting my bearings here, and my new job is a challenge. I have yet to make a friend here, and working remotely doesn't help. I have been maintaining my sanity with the help of my father. He could tell I was drowning and flew out to bring me a book I forgot a month after I moved, then started coming monthly for a long weekend. I call him daily, mostly for chit-chat, but every Friday I call him while I nurse a bottle of wine, and he just listens as I ramble on about my extremely uneventful life. He has never wavered in his dedication to being my father, my friend, and my biggest supporter. 2 Mondays ago, I drove him to the airport. Like every end of his visits, I was a wreck. I asked him multiple times to stay a day longer. I hugged him twice as hard before he left. I watched him walk into the airport, and then he was gone. He was involved in a car crash while on the way to pick up my step-siblings last Tuesday evening. He passed in the hospital very early Wednesday morning. I never properly said goodbye. I flew home when the accident happened, but I didn't make it in time. He died surrounded by people who loved him, but I wasn't there. So here I am. I have no one to talk to. My brother and I have spoken a few times, just about logistics. He'll be home tomorrow, but it won't make me feel less lonely. He's a hard worker, he channels any emotion he feels into his work. I'm so happy he's found success with that technique, but I know how much empathy he lacks as a result. My sister hasn't responded to a single one of the million messages I've sent or the countless missed calls. I am alone. I'm not sure why I came here. I think I was just looking for someone to talk to, or maybe writing it out makes it more understandable for myself. Whatever the reason, I'm here. I'm alone now. No more parents, just me. I'll be okay.